I've never really been a fan of cloth mousepads. Like, yes, I've owned and tried over 30 cloth pads, ranging from desk mats to some of the highest quality cloth mousepads from makers such as Lethal Gaming Gear and Artisan, but none really wowed me enough to stay on it for more than a week or two before switching back to glass pads. Glass pads have and always been so much more enjoyable to me than cloth, as I've switched my main glass mousepad over 3 times in 2 years that I've been maining glass pads, unable to find a cloth pad that I want to stick on until now. When Paradis, the community representative at Matrova, first reached out to me about trying the Matrova Breeze, I was immediately interested. He described the pad that had an almost edgeless design, as well as the best base found on a firm or mid pad that I've seen, and in any color or design. And the real kicker, all for $30. I couldn't believe these ideas about the pad, as no other company has ever made a mousepad like this, especially for the price. Only once I saw videos and photos of the pad did I actually believe all of these properties. I knew after seeing those I needed to try this pad. The Breeze is the first cloth pad in a while to truly excite me. Once it arrived, I was blown away. Everything that I was told about this pad was true. The stitching was absolutely tiny and far below the surface of the pad, and it made the pad feel edgeless and almost round. There was absolutely zero fraying out of the box for the stitching, and I haven't been able to get the pad to fray at all in my more than 3 months of constant everyday use. Putting any of my Mighty Mouse kits on this pad made the pad feel incredible. Most of the time was spent on the MM3K, a 15-gram mod kit for the Zalconic M3K. If you do have an M3K and you do want to check out this mod kit, you can buy it over on my website, MightyMouseCustoms.com, or the link is in the description. That is also where I'll be launching the MMAK V2, the successor to the MMAK V1, a 20-gram mod kit for the OP1AK. Especially with the improved quality on the MMAK V2, I feel truly unlocked on this pad. With the super light weight of these kits, averaging sub 20 grams, the pad made every one feel perfect to use. With the combinations of the qualities of this pad plus the lightweight of the mice created a perfect cloth pad experience for me. Also, for any of you guys interested in the MMAK V2 updates, it is on track to release in the middle of July. I am posting weekly to bi-weekly updates for the mouse over on my Twitter, so if you do want to keep track of that, link to my Twitter is down in the description. The base on this pad is magnificent. Being a PU base on a $30 mousepad is insane, by far better than any other mid pad I've ever tried, including from companies such as Artisan and Lethal Gaming Gear. The surface had just the right amount of plush, being hard enough that when I am aiming like I normally do, I don't sink into the pad at all, but if I do want to press down for the slight bit of control or stopping power, I am able to. Let's not forget about the amazing color print of this pad. As this is one of Matrova's biggest selling points, their customizability of their mouse pads is very cheap, while having such high quality pads puts them far ahead of the market in competition. I hate that I accidentally stained the pad in the corner, so that mark is on me and not Matrova. But the main draw to this pad for me was the surface. It is a blend between the Artisan Raiden Mid and the Infinity Mice Speed V2, taking the amazing properties from both. Out of the box, the experience of this pad was decent. Not my favorite then, as the pad did take time to break in, but still an amazing experience. The surface was ever so slightly textured, with a similar texture to the Speed V2, just turned down slightly, with the smoothness of the Raiden Mid. At first, I didn't really like this texture, but I've come to enjoy very minor mousescape feedback from the surface of pads, coming from glass pads like the Beast, and this pad was very welcoming. In terms of quote-unquote textured pads, this is as textured as I think I'd like to go when it comes to a cloth pad. Any more texture would be too much for me. When first using it, I did think the texture was a little too much, and it did cause my sleeves to catch on the pad at first. After letting the pad break in for about 2 to 3 weeks, the surface became quite a bit smoother, even smoother than the Raiden while keeping the Microsoft texture. But overall felt amazing both with mouse skates and my arm sleeve, which began to catch less and less on the surface. The primary skate I used on this pad were Jade Dots, but Paradis lightly recommended me to buy Ultra Glide RS skates, which he said made the pad feel even smoother and faster, which they do. I don't plan on making a full review on these skates, but no, they are smoother and faster on Jades on at least the Matrova Breeze, so definitely recommend them for this pad. Not only was this pad such an amazing experience with arm sleeves, it was also almost perfect for me without an arm sleeve. I've never been able to use a mouse pad without an arm sleeve due to the way the texture of most pads feel on my skin, as well as just my overall sticky skin would stick to basically every cloth pad I used. But with this one, not only is it far better than any other cloth pad I've used without a sleeve, but if I'm only playing for a few minutes at a time, I find myself not even putting on a sleeve. The type of texture and surface of this pad makes even my sweaty skin not stick to the surface as it does on most pads. I have to be very sweaty in order for my palm to stick as harshly to this pad as my palm would under normal conditions to other pads. This is caused by the fibers in the surface of the pad to get pushed down and flatten out slightly, which also leads to my second main point about this pad, its speed. Although not as fast as the Raiden Mid or Speed V2, it fits almost right in between those two, sitting right above the speed of the LGG Neptune Firm when first arriving, then going up to the speed of the Kurosun Ninja after I broke it in. In-game, this pad performs amazing. There's a good balance between dynamic and static friction, as well as the weave of the surface is diagonal, so there is similarity in the vertical and horizontal movements on this pad. These properties combined with the softly textured surface makes for an amazing tracking experience on this pad. Games such as Apex, Rivals, and Overwatch feel the greatest they've ever been on a cloth pad for me. With the more balanced dynamic and static friction, I find that my starting and tracking motions are very smooth. There isn't any hitches or jitters in my aim as if I was using a pad with differing static and dynamic frictions. Due to the texture of this pad as well, it makes micro adjustments very easy when tracking a player changing direction slightly, or to keep a constant speed when tracking a player in one direction. It does fall behind for me in pure reactivity scenarios in games that need it, as this pad is not fast enough for me. With target switches, this pad performs well. With the very slight give the surface has when pushing down hard, moving the mouse fast then pushing down to have the mouse slow down helps a lot. The micro texture as well helps slow down the mouse at the end of flicks, but still gives the freedom of movement when it comes to making micro adjustments after the flick. At the end of the day, it all comes down to preference for what properties you want in your cloth pad. For me, this is damn near perfect. I've gone through very few cloth pads that made me want to keep it on my desk after their initial review period, and I've always felt like I wanted to rush through making the review so I could switch back to what I actually wanted to use. But for the first time, this pad is staying on my desk, as for now. More on that soon, unless I am using glass. I still see myself gravitating towards a glass pad, primarily the Beast, when it comes to hardcore gaming if I want to perform at my best. That doesn't mean in any way that this pad isn't good. Many players with far better aim than myself perform exceptionally in both aim trainers and in game on this pad. From what I am hearing from Matrova and the people who work there are quite a few exciting mouse pads on the way from them, none that I can publicly say right now, but I do see myself switching to those pads once I am able to get them for review. Matrova as a company and himself as a person is one of the few people who are making mousepads in the scene that are actually exciting and new. He's doing stuff that no one else has done with custom-based designs to the surface of the pads and what he plans on releasing in the future. He's gone above and beyond to personally help me achieve my goals in mice mods and has consistently supported me through my process of making the MMAK V1 and now the V2. Everyone who works at Matrova are all super nice and cool people. People like Pairings, Bear, Butters, Soy, Jordan, and a bunch of others. I know this is supposed to be a review video on the mousepad, but I have to give credit where credit is due. There are very few companies right now who are making new and unique products, so I will continue to support and show my love to Matrova. Matrova's website will be linked down in the description below, so go check them out. They have a bunch of other mousepads that are all amazing from what I hear. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded, basically 3 months, but the school year just ended and summer has just started, so I will be making more videos soon. Expect a video every 2 weeks. Peace.